Hello, welcome back to the Arturia Pigments 3 tutorial series. Today we're dealing with the random tab, which, as its name implies, well, not implies, directly states, we've got three different random signal generators, and each of the generators in turn has three different randomization types. We'll have a look at them all today. If you're enjoying this video series and you want to help support my channel, then check out my Patreon link or YouTube membership scheme below. Okay, let's get on with it and have a look at the Turing generator. So what this thing does is generates a fixed number of random signals, and then once it's done, decides whether or not to throw them all away and start again. Now, all of those decisions are made with this flip knob. So at the moment we can see that we've got a length value, and I'm going to set the length to 4, and I'm going to map my randomization to pitch coarse, so we're going to get some tuning offsets, and I'm also going to turn the flip knob all the way down to 0. What that means is that it's now going to generate, or it's already generating, 4 control voltages, but they're going to be the same 4 control voltages every time round. Let's have a listen. Oh, don't you love sawtooths? So it has randomly selected 4 control voltages, but having done that, it doesn't change them. It doesn't evolve to generate new signals. Now, this flip knob is a little bit odd, because if I turn it all the way to 100%, what it's going to do now is invert those 4 same values are now going to be inverted. So it basically draws a mirror image of itself against whatever the center point is. So what we're going to get here is an 8-note sequence, the last 4 notes being a mirror image of the first 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2. So it's an 8-note sequence repeating around a symmetrical center point. Every other value on the flip knob gives you something else. At 50%, if I double click this knob, what it's going to do now is every time it's generated 4 different control voltage signals, as specified by my length value, it's going to throw them away and recalculate 4 new values. So we're going to get a genuinely random signal now. And we can obviously control the rate, that's pretty obvious. You can also see that my reset source is my keyboard. But we have the standard suite of reset or gate triggers that we've seen elsewhere. Set it to LFO. You can hear the LFO intervening there with those sharp staccato points. That's where it's saying, right, forget whatever it is you're doing, start again. That's the Turing generator. Sample and hold is far more traditional territory. Hopefully you'll understand this one. So we're basically taking a white noise source here, which is essentially completely random. That's what white noise is. And that's our source that we're going to sample. Now at the moment it looks like we don't have any option as to decide how often we sample it. That's simply because I'm in LFO trigger mode. If I select clock instead, then I get a rate value, and now I can choose how often the sample is taken. So at these slow rates you can see that it's taking a control voltage signal and then it's holding it for an entire bar, and at the end of the bar it chooses a new value to output. So that's going to last a whole bar now, and there's the new value. Make it go faster. Now those abrupt control voltage changes can be smoothed with our rise and fall controls. Now rise takes care of control voltage modulations when the second one is higher than the first one, in other words when we're going up, and I'm not going to explain what fall does, it's the opposite. So here if I increase rise but leave fall alone, you'll see that it smoothly modulates every time it goes up and plummets down every time it drops control voltages. The other way around, And we can link those two values together with the little link symbol, and now only the rise knob is active and the fall knob will track it. Finally, we've got binary, which is literally on or off, black or white. There are only two possible values with binary, but we get the option to choose the probability of flipping between 1 and 0. So you can see here we're drawing a kind of, almost pseudo pulse wave with our control voltage. It's either at 1 or it's a 0 and nothing in between. Now with the probability knob set at 12 o'clock or 50%, it's equally likely that the control voltage is going to be 1 or 0. We've still got an overriding rate value, so at the moment we're still dealing in quarter notes, which means every quarter note the generator is going to have a new decision to make, and it's going to be 50-50 whether it picks a 1 or a 0. If I increase the knob all the way to maximum, it's going to pick 1 all the time and you'll get a straight line. If I pick 0, it'll pick 0 all the time. And so this allows us to weight one probability against another. So anything other than 0 or 1, it is genuinely random, but we're weighting the probability in one direction or another. Set that back to 50%, and now we'll have a look at the correlation. This specifies the likelihood of the new value being the same as the old one. So again, if I turn the correlation all the way up to maximum, it's going to stick at wherever it happened to be previously. So it was at 1 when I turned it all the way up. It's now going to stick at 1 forever. If I turn correlation all the way down to 0, then we've got the probability knob doing its thing and deciding whether or not to output a 1 or a 0. And correlation specifies that every quarter note it's absolutely going to make a new decision. Now that decision might be to stick with the old value. Doesn't mean it's going to change. It does mean that it's making a decision, guaranteed. And the further up we increase the correlation, the less likely it is that it's going to change its mind. Completely bonkers. No, absolutely mad, but cool. That's all for the random tab and for today's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you did. I'll see you for the next one. Thanks a lot.